What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Gamers for Life podcast, where each and every Saturday we're discussing all things games. I'm one of your hosts, Jarrell. With me is my co-host, my right-hand man, my ABXY, Arthur. What is up, man?
A lot. We were gone for a week.
We were gone for quite a bit.
And yes. I think I can speak on your behalf. We both did a lot.
We did. We had a pretty good I guess a good bye week here, but talk about yours. I was curious about yours.
I had like the most social busy week. This is not a bad thing. Mm-hmm. In like years, even pre-COVID.
Wow.
Not shocker when you're like stay at home nerd, it doesn't go out much. But like it was like back to back. Like, so I met Isabel from the Nerdy Bunch, co-host of the Ton Talk. And if you love anything Star Wars, go watch that.
Yeah, shout out to Isabel.
Yeah, her and Claire should fucking kill it.
Yeah,
kill it there.
Come back, Ton Talk. Come back. We need you.
So I met Isabel. I met Isabel with Ivan. We got cream barbecue.
Nice.
And then the next day, I went to Disneyland finally because housemate Ivan, the Nerdy Bunch. He's been, of course, saying we have to go to Disneyland. And I'll be honest, like the number one reason, and this is something I thought of a lot because it's happened before.
Yeah.
Is I'm a big dude. Me and like rides sometimes don't get along, not because the heights thing, because I do have a weird thing of heights.
Yeah.
But it's more of like number of clicks. And I have unfortunately, just be honest, to be blunt, it's the life of us biggins. Is I have unfortunately done the walk of shame of like, sir, we need 3 clicks. That was only 2.
Oh.
So,
yeah.
But went to Disneyland, and that was fun. It was fine. And the thing is, it was funny too. Actually, about the pass. There's a new. I don't know if it's a new tier, but it's like a cheapy pass. It's like the cheapy pass.
Yeah.
Of course, there's limitations like no parking. I don't fucking need that. You can't go on weekends, which I want to. It's like, hey, do you want to go to Disneyland when there's like a million fucking people?
Right.
And you have to wait 3 hours to go on like a 5-minute ride? No. But pretty much the short version to describe the pass I got, it's $20 a month, and if you go twice in a year, it pays for itself. And I already went once.
Right.
Dude, my feet were tired. We went because we were gone the whole day. We left the house at 8 in the morning, and didn't get back till 11 p.m.
Oh wow.
My feet were fucking dead. Ivan brought his his health app tracker thing. Shows you how healthy I am. I don't even know what the fuck to call it.
Pedometer.
Yeah,
right.
pedometer.
Yeah.
I remember I called it a speedometer. Yeah. And they're like, that's not right. It's close. Dude, we walked 13 miles.
Wow.
Walked 13 miles, yeah. And then the next day after Disneyland, I hung out with Ellie in church. We played Thieves with them. And
shout out to Ellie in church.
And Ellie's on the Nerdy Bunch a lot. With Nerd Hunt and stuff like that.
Yeah.
With horrors, and she's been ooh. One a friend too. We recorded with her a lot. And that was super fun. And I would have had an even busier week because I had a chance to see John Williams in concert at the Hollywood Bowl this past weekend. But something came up, I couldn't go.
Dang it!
And it sucked because like everyone else went, like Ivan, pretty much everyone I literally just mentioned. Ivan, Isabel, Ellie, Church, then Prime. Prime, we play games with him. He play games with him. He's been on the recordings and the stream.
Yeah.
They all went to go see John Williams at the Hollywood Bowl. I couldn't. It came up. Shit came up. It happens.
It happens, dude. Yeah.
But yeah, it was like boom, 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 boom. It was like this crazy, just busy week, and it was really fun. Like it's again, as someone without a car, when you like leave the city, that's when you feel like okay, like I'm out and about. It's like a different feeling when you go out to like your local bar, burger place down the street, a mile away versus like like an hour 40-minute drive or some shit with traffic.
Right. Absolutely. Well, let's do it, man.
And I thought I went for 40 minutes, like a 20, anywhere from traffic to like 20 minutes to like an hour. You went farther. You went a little farther.
Yes, I went. Yeah, I went further. New place. I went to Seattle. My sister-in-law, she's moved to Seattle because she got a professor position at University of Washington.
Congrats.
Yeah, definitely.
Not to cut you off, what's their mascot?
That's a good question. I know, shit. I don't know. I gotta research it.
You don't go there. That's a question for... Let me rephrase that. You don't have to know.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like when you're a sibling. Like,
Yeah.
what's your sibling's birthday? It's fucking. Or like, what's a free, like what's a friend's kid's birthday? I don't know. Fucking next month. It's
Yeah.
like you can get to know the ballpark. We don't have to fucking know.
Right.
But before
Eventually, I'll definitely research that. But
other than Random Mascot, how was it?
it was good, man. I had a really good time. I had a really great vacation. I love Seattle. Like, I really love it. It's the first time I've really enjoyed a vacation. Seattle, just really nice as far as like the water, like the landscape, the trees. People were really nice. The weather was really nice. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see myself living there in the future. You know,
there you go.
It's fucking crazy because it's funny because usually, like, you know, my wife she'll kind of means test as far as, cause she's a traveler at heart, right?
Oh yeah,
a lot of her family travels as well. But you know, she'll be like, "Oh, I wonder if you want to live here." And like 90% of the places, I'm like, no. But for Seattle, I was like, this is really dope. So pretty cool.
Well, you caught it during its few dry spells.
True. Yeah. So, yeah, I one good point she said, well, you know, we definitely have to catch it and kind of like all the seasons to see how we feel about it afterwards.
And it's funny you caught Seattle when it's like not raining, because I've been to the border city north of that during its dry spell, Vancouver.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
You know, Vancouver, for those of you who don't know, Vancouver, Canada is like the TJ of Canada. It's like I'm not saying it's like a border town, but it's very common for people that live in Seattle to just drive to Vancouver.
Right.
And same thing, like when I went there, known for its rain. The north, spoiler, the Northwest is super fucking rainy.
Yeah.
Welcome to Gamers 5. You get gamer facts and, once again, weather.
You get to hear about how our lives are.
Yeah, it's like, oh, how is the PlayStation State of Play? No. Is there rain in Seattle?
So fuck that. How are you?
Yeah. It's like, fuck that. I heard Seattle rains every fucking day. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
But yeah, same thing in Vancouver. Like, somewhere in my many pictures of my travels is the picture of the weather forecast when I was in Vancouver. I'm not even fucking joking you. Every single day on the weather calendar, rain.
Oh man.
The 5 days I was there, cloudy, no rain. And then rain the rest of the fucking month. Like, I'm not even joking. Just raindrops and covering this fucking calendar. And then the 5 days I was there, and then rain.
Dude, that's awesome.
Dude, when you were posting pictures, I was like the lake. I was like, damn, that makes me want to go swimming.
That's nice.
That's like the number one hobby, I would say, close to biking, if not more. I definitely miss doing. Like, I love biking, and I stopped not by my own accord. You know, I live in Long Beach. I had 3 bikes stolen in 2 years.
Shit.
Welcome to Long Beach. But I miss swimming. Yeah. It's like I always joke when I was growing up, my spirit animal is the sea turtle. Why not a dolphin? Sea turtles are slower.
Oh man, I feel you, bro. I feel you. Well, if you guys are first here to the Gamers for Life podcast video channel here, welcome. Usually we get a little faster into the games, but hell, it's been a bye week, so we just had to catch up on how we've been doing.
A bye week, and again, we were surprisingly socially busy.
Right.
Not to keep it going, but I usually feel like this is the next following question of like, what game have we been playing lately?
Yeah.
I have a new one.
Oh, please go first.
Monster Sanctuary.
Really?
Monster Sanctuary is a really fun game. It's Pokemon, but an RPG. And now you're saying, "Oh, there isn't Pokemon and fucking RPG." Shut up. To be less mean, be quiet and listen. So Monster Sanctuary, like, put it this way, it's like, you can tell they're like fans. They're fans of Pokemon, but they just wish there was more elements to the game. So it's kind of like a JRPG, Japanese RPG, but instead of quote unquote party members that you pick up along the way, it's like monsters, like Pokemon.
Okay.
In a sense that every character, every monster has its own skill tree, has its own skill set of skill trees. They can level up. You can give them gear. You can give them weapon. You can give them accessories. You can boost their talents. There's loot. So it's like if Pokemon met Final Fantasy.
Interesting.
And it's really fun. It's a good balance of challenging.
And that's an Xbox title?
Game Pass.
Oh shit! Wow, that doesn't sound like an Xbox title. It's interesting.
Yeah. Xbox is definitely not synonymous with JRPGs. Just isn't.
Yeah.
Because the reason I got into it is because I felt like playing a simple indie game. Like, do you remember I used to talk about Spiritfarer? Beautiful artistic game. Kind of like a Stardew Valley. I just wanted a game where I could just like chill, just lose myself into it. I'm not saying I don't have to think, but I just wanted a relaxing, chill game where I don't have to really pay attention. Like Mass Effect. Like, oh, you have a dialogue thing. Fuck, what did he just fucking say? I don't know. But yeah, dude, I've been like no-lifing it. It's really funny. So last week was our bye week. I did all the social shit. Now I'm like on the flip side, aka Arthur's normal schedule, just no-lifing this fucking game. Dude, it's super fun, man. And It's cool because like I'm kind of grinding. I don't know about you, but when I play Pokemon, I grind. So that by the time I get to the gym leader, I'm like 10 levels ahead. I'm like 10 levels over the gym leader.
Oh, shit.
I just fucking stomp him like, oh, you piece of shit. Yeah, I mean,
hardcore with it.
Yeah, and the cool thing is there's an element in this game that makes the grinding a little bit easier, and two, keeps the game like, even though you're grinding, you don't feel like quote unquote godlike.
Yeah.
Where you're completely plowing over everything, because there's a setting you can change it off and on in the game. It's not like in the pause menu. It's like in the game you talk to this person where she keeps the levels of the wild animals like relatively to your level. Versus like in Pokemon, for Route 1, everything's like level 1 through 5. So if you want to, like, oh, I need a fucking, I don't know, fucking a wild Pidgey, and you go back, let's say you're level like 25, or all your Pokemon's level 25. Oh, but I need a Pidgey or a Weedle, and you go back, oh fuck, it's level 5. But the cool thing is, again, they keep it at your level. So if you're like, oh man, this next area where I'm in is snow, so it's like I need fire. I have to go back to the fire area, but they're relatively my level, so It's not like I have to super fucking bring them up.
Okay, nice. So that sounds pretty hardcore there. I'm trying to think of the game that I've been playing recently. I haven't really dove into anything too much. I pre-downloaded Halo Infinite, even though we've had our gripes about that.
Dude, it's like a sword.
No, I'm sorry. I have been playing something kind of old school. Very old school. Well, not super old school, but old school to me. And it just kind of made me laugh. So I was randomly just internating on the phone, right? And then I
know what that word means,
right? And then there was an article that popped up that said like, why Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty is relevant today.
Oh my god!
So I go down the rabbit hole, right? And then it gives a link to GOG, and I'm like, god damn you guys! So I click on GOG.
Oh, they linked it. Dude, that's smart.
They fucked me, bro.
Good shit.
They set me up, and I fucking caved. But I bought it for like $10. I was like, $10? Fuck it, I'll buy it and replay it on PC. Dude, like, it's so funny. And then I hooked up the Xbox controller because I can map it to it, and just one, game's still super fun, and then two, Kojima would not be able to get away with the bullshit that he got away with for that game.
What do you mean?
So what I mean by that is obviously the first Metal Gear Solid, you play Solid Snake. Yeah, everybody loves Solid Snake.
You're talking about fucking what's his name?
Raiden.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I bought that game, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I was like super mad, and like I remember there was people online that were like, they were mad, but they weren't 2021 mad.
Yeah,
I mean?
I think it's almost like trendy to be stupidly fucking angry at something. Says the guy that cusses EA every time he fucking talks about him. But I definitely, I know what you mean, how people are more reactionary.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm pissed off because I'm pissed off. I don't do it for the reactions. I just fucking hate EA. I don't care what you think about how I'm reacting. Fuck EA. But I do think society or a community is like baseline level of annoyance or anger has collectively risen for shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So it was just kind of funny. Like, the game, as far as it's still, like, very masterful, but just when it came to that Switch, it was like...
Dude, I feel
he would not be able to get away with that shit today, man.
I feel bad because I remember there was, like a long phase where you had the Xbox and you didn't need a game for a while because you got rid of it, blah, 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 blah. But I was going to say, I have I have that game remastered and I got it for free because during 1 month of whatever year, it was an Xbox Gold game.
Oh, nice.
So remember, separate from Game Pass is Xbox. Well, it's part of Game Pass Ultimate, but I haven't like really paid for it directly in so long. Was it Xbox Live? Yeah. So if you have Xbox Live, every month they give you 5 free games, 3 Xbox games and 2 retro quote unquote 360 games. And yeah, a while back, one of the 360 games they gave us for free was that game remastered.
That's hilarious, dude. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I've been playing. Interesting stuff. And speaking of PlayStation, we are recording today on a Thursday, so what that means, PlayStation Showcase, that is one of the things that we're going to be covering. But I forgot to go into my spiel here. So once again, if you're here on the YouTube, welcome. Be sure to like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. And then you have a lot of really fun content just waiting for you to check out after watching this video. We have 11 episodes, I think 12 adding this one. Full episodes on the YouTube channel, and then a bunch of other clips as well. Obviously, if you want to check out the audio version of the podcast instead, or if you want to check out the Twitch stream that Arthur manages, just all of the above, you can do that by going directly to linktree.com/gamersforlife. That'll be your one-stop shop there. That is where you can find all the things that we're doing when it comes to Gamers for Life updates. Obviously, follow us on Instagram as well. The Gamers for Life Instagram is very much a news-oriented Instagram, so you get to find out about what's going on, and then potentially you'll kind of get a hint on what we'll be talking about on the show. And obviously, the last post on Instagram, for as of today at least, PlayStation Showcase, right? So it was kind of interesting. Before we talk about this, I was just interested to talk about as far as like what people's anticipation was, because these last previous PlayStation Showcase, I haven't really have been very impressed by PlayStation. I mean, there was that one showcase where merely they talked about Horizon Forbidden West, and then also they talked about the one before that. It talked about Ratchet and Clank, which is very good. Obviously, it focused on one game, great. And then the other one they talked about the Forbidden West, which we were like, this isn't coming out this year. And then we found out it's not coming out this year.
AKA another one of many examples of we love being right.
The gamer prophets.
Like there's humility and there's fuck you, I called it. Okay, not fuck you, I called it, but okay, yeah, fuck you, I called it. I'm trying not to be so like aggressive in my verbiage, but it's accurate.
No, yeah, we totally called
fuck
that.
You, let me phrase that. The fuck you is to Sony, not to you listening.
Yes.
Like, is it coming out later? Fuck you. Okay, then Arthur, God. No, I meant like fuck you, Sony. We're right. It's being delayed. No shit.
Right. So for this one, there was a lot of rummaging around the internet when it came to the type of games that they're going to be announcing, it being more of a traditional showcase where you're just getting mad trailers and everything. And they tried to do a lot with this showcase, so I will give them credit for them attempting, like, let's see what games they're playing. And then obviously there's a couple of like interviews at the end that I really didn't care for, that I feel like they didn't really give us any new information. I appreciated the attempt, but I appreciate them trying new things, but I still feel like this is like a 1 step forward, 2 steps back, but it still shows, to me, after the showcase, it still didn't really solidify buying a console.
I'm a little different.
Really?
So first of all, I'll start by saying this though. I did not watch the actual showcase.
Okay.
So meaning any interviews or lizard people moments, I didn't watch.
Okay.
Now I slept through it. Shocker. But I did see all the trailer announcements.
Yeah.
Now, one thing so a couple things I'll say about this. Again, I didn't see any interviews or if there was a live. And now this wasn't that so cool fucking lizard people moments. Again, awkwardly shout out to the guy from the fucking Microsoft showcase that was like just like
muy benito, man.
Dude, I felt like we were watching a real life version of of Jordan Peele's Get Out, of like,
he's hypnotized or something.
Yeah, he's like hypnotized by like some like 6-year-old out of touch fucking white guy. Just like, wow, Top Gun with Microsoft Simulator. I feel the need for speed.
It's it's funny.
So bad.
It was funny after I watched that. Not to go too much of a tangent, but after I watched that, I was like, I know that guy because he's been on like IGN and a bunch of other things, and I was like, man.
No, yeah. When you
what
see,
are you doing, man?
When you see him,
I like that guy.
When you see him in like another IGN stuff, he's energetic. He's natural.
Kind of funny.
He's a human.
Yeah.
And he's a human, and then all of a sudden you see him like on the fucking Microsoft showcase, and it's like if you're playing Fallout. Is he a synth? Is he like if we're back to Get Out, like a son does a flash photography, fucking his nose starts bleeding.
Yeah, that is hilarious. That was definitely Xbox hypnosis that he was on.
Dude, I wish they can like cuss, because they cuss at E3. I've noticed that you can cuss at E3, but you can't, or like no, or you just don't cuss during showcases.
Yeah,
which is weird because like I don't know why they don't. Like if it's for the kids have heard you cuss. It's like if they, especially they go to public school,
yeah,
or if they watch TV or this thing called movies, or live.
Yeah.
Unless you're like unless you're like like a homeschooled Mormon, you've heard fuck.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like it's like, and plus that was such like a cool collab. It's like, guess what, motherfuckers? Top Gun's coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Fuck yeah. Just like, just like just like be natural. It's like
they should experiment with that sometime. I mean, look, for the PlayStation Showcase, there was like you had Jim Ryan, and I automatically was giving like the finger to him from my bed to my television.
Dude, I'm like picturing just throwing their I'm just picturing like mentally just throwing the remote to TV. And welcome, Jim Ryan. Fuck this, I'm out.
I was like,
you don't finish the showcase, you don't watch the trailers, and it's like, Drew, how's the showcase? Jim Ryan was fucking there, so it sucked.
Like he seemed like he didn't even want to be there, dude. Like it just showed so much of like out of touchness. But let me digress. Let me go more into this. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, back to my thing of how you said this was like a step, like what's
one
the phrase?
Step forward, 2 steps back.
I kind of disagree.
Okay.
So back to that, good job getting this train back on track, because I can't fucking do that. But back to real quick, back to Lizard People. Xbox, if they're watching, I'm good at marketing. My marketing is fucking buy it. Like you just real quick, can you just imagine a Halo commercial? Just like me or like some just average gamer or person just walks out. It's like, game's good. Fucking buy it. Bam. Fucking record-breaking pre-orders. Just, it's good. Fucking buy it.
He likes it. I'm in.
Yeah. Just pair up with Taco Bell. Live Moss. Buy Halo.
Live Moss. That's funny.
Again, another side note. Taco Bell does partner with Microsoft a lot, and they always have like, buy a Quesarito combo box for a chance to win an Xbox, which we've done them many times.
Yes, back in the day, those were shit.
But trying to get back to whatever the fuck I was trying to talk about.
So you disagree on this?
I feel like this.
Or my take.
I feel like this would have been their E3 if they would have gone to E3, because almost everything was new, or things we knew existed. For example, we knew God of War was going to exist, but again, it was just like the logo. That's all we saw. But now we saw the trailer.
Right.
We knew the Star Wars. We heard the Star Wars remake was going to exist. We see something over that. So again, and here's the thing. I immediately, there's a lot of things to talk about, but in terms of making me this, we talk about more. But this was the closest I've been to immediately want to buy a PS5 just for what I saw.
Interesting.
Because we got Spider-Man again. We got Spider-Man 2, we got God of War, and the Knights of the Old Republic remake. When I saw Knights of the Republic remake during this showcase, I immediately fucking Googled if it's exclusive. I wasn't losing shit.
I was gonna ask you about that.
I almost was like, "Fuck! I gotta buy PS5 today." like. God, so like this, we've been talking about it. how like we really haven't had a reason to like to a point, you know, on both sides.
Yeah.
It's like we really haven't had a reason to buy a Series X yet. You know, I finally got one. We really haven't seen a reason to buy a PS5. I would argue this is the most. Again, for me, this was the most I've seen that makes me want to buy a PS5 now.
Interesting.
Or buy a PS5. Now I know every game I listed isn't coming out today.
Right.
That's what I argue. Like, okay, I don't have to buy it now, but this is what made me the most type of like, fuck, I think I need a fucking PS5 now.
Right. Hey,
dude,
that's good. That's good.
I don't know if there's an order to. I don't know if we have an order to things or whatever. But real quick, Knights of the Republic. Like I said, I was gonna lose my shit if that was a Sony exclusive. I would have been like, because we've been talking about it. You know, what is in Jim Ryan's pocket? What's the big thing that's gonna get people? That's gonna get Sony customers fucking hyped.
Right.
And if Knights of the Republic was exclusive, boom, fucking mic drop.
Right.
Now that's half true, and I immediately fucking looked this up.
Yeah, because I was like, "Are you fucking serious? Is it going to be an exclusive?" Because that would have been like insane, an insane chess move.
Yeah, and I have
on Sony's part.
I'm not gonna read the article, but let me see who it was if you want to look it up. It was posted by VentureBeat. Okay, so the one I found was VentureBeat. This is so for those of you that still think it's going to be exclusive, it's a timed exclusive.
Okay.
It's a timed exclusive.
Oh yeah, it's a console exclusive on PS5 at launch.
Yes.
Okay.
And like I said, oh man, I'm like, God damn it, I got to buy a PS5 because of this fucking remake.
How long of a timed exclusive do you think? 30 days? 90 days?
I would say a quarter, 90.
Yeah.
Again, we both been in, the back end of this, and it's all about money and finances, and usually it's quarter based. So for me, I would guess a quarter. If you want to go longer than that, half a year, or as far as it is on a paycheck or like accounting book, 2 quarters, half a year. But I would say a quarter, 3 months.
Okay. Interesting.
It's been
Yeah.
I again, for my sum up of this, impressed, and now I actually feel like buying a PS5.
Well, it's interesting because the first half of the showcase, there's a lot of trailers that I was like, okay, I already know what this is. Like, okay, I've seen this before, whatever. But then once they started showing trailers associated specifically with PlayStation Studios, that is where my eyes and ears perked up. I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay, God of War Ragnarok. Like, one, it's officially called Ragnarok. Because a lot of people were like, oh, I don't know if it's going to be called that. And then we see actual footage of it and potential what gameplay looked like.
They showed a lot of gameplay.
They showed a lot of it, right?
I thought it would be like another quote unquote tease. Yeah. Like a short thing. They showed a lot of their a lot of gameplay and mechanics.
Yeah.
Clearly Loki has this, Loki has new powers.
Right.
He has this deer conjuring thing and other shit. And I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
I was just expecting look, here's a thing for God of War. It's still going to exist. Here you go.
Right.
But again, fucking decent length of gameplay.
Yeah, no, I mean, it looked pretty impressive too. So that I was really impressed by. Mm-hmm. Did we get a release date on that at the end of the trailer? I don't remember if there was one.
I don't.
Okay.
Either.
But it looked good, and then obviously it's in development.
I am on my phone now.
For sure. Because I know they switched some leadership around, and one of the guys actually interviewed the new director for God of War. And the guy just seemed like he didn't want to be on camera either. None of these fucking developers do. But
I get it.
yeah, I guess I do as well. But the game looks great, and I'm curious to see, and that's definitely going to be one where I would absolutely. It would make a million sense and more for it to be a console exclusive, or not to be a console bundle, PS5 bundle with God of War. That's absolutely I can see that in the future happening.
Real quick, at least I guess you can account it towards the shortage situation. We haven't seen any bundles.
We have not seen any bundles.
I mean, correct. Like I'm sure there's retailer bundles that just tape a game to your fucking box. But,
yeah, that bullshit.
You know, like, oh, here's Rubber Band, bam, here you go. But I mean, like actual like licensed Microsoft or Sony bundles.
Right.
I guess you can. Again, I would argue you can contribute that to the shortage of the chip, whatever, and the shortage of the console. But yeah, it's just weird that we're arguably nearly come 2 months, 2 years in of the release date of the next gen consoles, and we haven't seen bundles. It's weird.
Right.
Back to the God of War thing. Tentative 2022. Now, I don't know if that was shown through the trailer, but on the site it just says initial release date 2022.
Yeah, it definitely seems interesting there. Yeah, there's a pretty good article here on
fucking Cali got to represent, man. Fucking Santa Monica Studios, dude. Santa Monica, other than being known for its fucking pier, is known for its pun intended godlike fucking games.
Yeah, I mean they literally hold PlayStation together when it comes to the IPs.
Yeah, and they're fucking holding Rockstar together.
Yeah, so shout out to them, man. I'm definitely excited of this coming out for God of War Ragnarok. It looks great. So that was a joy to see. Even though this is one as well that I may not necessarily go out and buy, but I know how important it is to the PlayStation.
Can I get one more thing on God of War?
Yes.
Sorry, it was because this was news that broke like a week ago. I think during our bye week, was that one of the quote unquote like fathers quote unquote fathers of God of War. He recently passed. George Mall.
Oh, bummer.
Mawle. Yeah, he was one of the
developers.
Gameplay engineers. He was kind of coined as again one of the fathers of the God of War's Leviathan axe.
Oh wow!
So he was really involved. He was really involved with the new one, the revamp, because it's not a remake.
Yeah.
He was really involved with that. Yeah. It sucks because he passed away just over a week ago now.
Damn. Rest in peace.
Yeah. So that news kind of broke. Again, kind of just before, like a few days before the showcase.
Yeah. Rest in peace. Most definitely. So as far so before the showcase, one of the things too that is absolutely a part of the PlayStation brand, and this next game it's one that I wouldn't necessarily probably go out and buy. However, I know how important it is to PlayStation. Gran Turismo 7.
It's definitely in the category of foundation games.
Yes,
definitely. And I will argue as popular and as big as Microsoft promotes Forza, I don't include Forza as like a Microsoft foundation game.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I mean, because the first one. I don't think the first one was for the original Xbox. It was for 360, I think, right?
No, it was for original Xbox.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess
it's a Microsoft. I know. I think originally it's a Microsoft Studios game, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know why. Because like for me mentally, I definitely link Gran Turismo hard to just Sony, but I think then again, personal experience. I think it's because I had a PS2. But I didn't own an original Microsoft. I didn't own an original Xbox.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
I didn't own one until Halo Combat Evolved. Mm-hmm. I got the green one. Classic green Xbox.
Oh, that see-through green?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Bring back the see-through consoles, man. Game Boy definitely pioneered that see-through shit. Dude.
Yeah.
A see-through like fucking Series X or like a see-through PS5.
Imagine.
Do it, Sony.
So for Gran Turismo 7, it looks great. Graphics are insane.
Beautiful.
Beautiful graphics. And then it looks like it's slated for March 4th of next year, which is a perfect time. I think most Gran Turismos, if not all of them, came out around that time of the year as well. And then it says here, just a quote a little bit on PlayStation blog, talks about the best of Gran Turismo experiences. So it says the name Gran Turismo means Grand Touring in Italian. Didn't know that.
How we learned.
Back in the 17th century, people would go on long trips across the European continent, learning and growing their travel destinations. The name is derived from these journeys. In the same spirit, the GT campaign mode is also a place where individual players can take their own unique journeys and gain learning experiences. Says we're aware that the longtime fans of Gran Turismo series strongly desired the return of GT campaign mode, and now, having seen the trailer, hopefully everyone will be able to get a feel for the atmosphere of a newly designed campaign mode returning in the very roots of GT campaign mode experience. Players will be able to start. Will be starting from the GT World map, which is pretty insane. And there's a really intense editor as well.
Oh, dude, the customizations was nuts. I will say that if you like racing games and you like customizations and you like personalizing your car, heavily encourage you to look into this game. There was a lot.
So I mean, I'm kind of like I'm actually really happy that they're putting as much effort. Polyphony game. The makers of these. Yeah.
I forget.
Polyphony, right? Yeah.
I thought once again, I thought you're looking for a word I don't know, and I'm like, yeah, proliferate. Yeah, these cars and these air vents are really proliferated, and
the company.
I thought you were trying to describe the spoilers. These spoilers are really proliferated. I'm like, I guess these.
It's like my brain's trying to load the word.
I was like, polyphony, epiphany. Where is he fucking going with this?
Polyphony. The studios. I'm really glad that they are applying as much detail into this game that the GTA players want. So I'm really proud of them for really going the distance here. And I'm glad that it's a fucking PlayStation 5 title. I think it's going to be for the PS4 as well.
I was going to say, not to, again, I will say this, Chims, you're one step forward, two steps back. As gorgeous as it looked.
Just leave PS4. Just cut the ties, man.
As gorgeous as it looked. That was for the PS5 drill, not for the PS4.
I think, and honestly, like, as a slight side note, I think if we didn't have this shortage, developers would be working on PS5, but that goddamn shortage.
I don't know.
It just makes sense to do PS4.
I don't know because I think usually 2 years is still when we're arguably like in. Wait, is it 2 years or 1 year? Am I fucking tripping balls?
For PS5?
Yeah, it's been a year, right?
Yeah, it's been a year. It's
okay.
November it'll be a year officially.
Oh, I thought it'd been 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay, I said 2 years earlier. My bad.
Yeah, no worries.
Well, even more to my thing, I'll say. Within a year of next gen console launch, I think it's still out. I think it's about still on par that we're getting both generation of games. Because like back to the Xbox One, we still got 360 games for a while after the One launched.
That's true. That's very true. That's a good point. For me, I feel like PlayStation 4 has had a luxury compared to the other ones, just because the console cycle for PS4 to 5 and Xbox One to the X was like 6-7 years.
It was a lengthy one, yeah.
Yeah, years versus like the 4 or 5 year mark. So I mean, the more the merrier as far as people can play it. That's good. I just hope in the future, like I say, a year or two from now, I really hope they're really gonna pump more for PlayStation 5.
Yeah, a year from now, second year when we start to see it die off.
Right. Anything else on Gran Turismo?
No, just like in a huge selection of cars. They showed that one like classic.
Yeah.
I don't know cars. They showed that one classic like. It looked like a 1930s like roadster.
Oh really?
With that one black car. Okay, put it this way, it's the type of car with that very, very vertical grill.
Okay.
That very narrow
egg
like grill front. So again, the car selection is definitely not limited to just modern stuff.
Nice. Yeah. And I know the haptic feedbacks as well that they commented on the on the showcase. Yeah, those triggers. They say it absolutely benefits when it comes to that experience driving. When it comes to the gear shifting and everything. So they say you can get the PS4 version if you want, but the PS5 version is really the main engineering experience. And the bigger experience if you decide to go that route.
Yeah, they were definitely saying, or you can definitely see how the benefits of the PS5 version.
Absolutely. So going into Uncharted territory,
I just got the finger guns.
One of the things, and this is kind of like a ridiculous but makes sense at the same time. Collection here, the Uncharted collection. We kind of already knew about this. We were talking about how Naughty Dog was working on, or the subsidiary team was working on this as far as for this collection. So it comes with the Thief's End and the Lost Legacy. So it's the Legacy of Thieves collection here.
What's the Lost Legacy? What is that?
It is kind of like a sub. It's a sub series. I forgot the lady that it came with. This is a lady that she was in the previous Uncharted titles.
So is it like a deal?
Here we go. Okay. This will answer your question right here. So on PlayStation Blog, it said it also includes Uncharted Lost Legacy, which the chronicles Chloe Frazier's breakout exploits as she comes from the frenemy to hero and listening to the assistance. Yeah, renowned the mercenary of Nadine Ross, Chloe ventures into the India's Western Ghats to locate them in the Golden Tusk of Ganesh. I didn't get the chance to play those.
It's like the quote-unquote spinoff.
Yeah, absolutely. And then one thing that I guess some people were kind of like hot and heavy about, and I didn't know if people were so hot and heavy about it. The Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection is going to be available early next year, PS5 and the PC version as well. A lot of people are upset about this PC version. I don't know why. I think a lot of games they're kind of upset that Sony is really investing in PC. What are your thoughts on that? Because for me, it makes sense because, I mean, Xbox already has that ecosystem, so they're already doing it better.
Well, I mean, well, at least to the last comment, again, Microsoft has been heavily focusing on making, getting away from the Xbox PC focus to making it synonymous, making both synonymous with Microsoft.
Right.
We are the same, PC, Xbox, arguably the same team, because they say available on Xbox One and Windows 10.
Yeah.
Now this one I'm neutral, but only because I'm kind of ignorant on both consoles.
Okay.
Meaning, like, I didn't have a PS4, I don't have a PS5, and I don't really play anything beyond indie games or small games on my PC. So I don't know. I guess my question is to you, recently, or just as a whole, are Sony exclusives, exclusives, are they normally launched on PC as well?
This is a new thing, definitely. I think it's definitely a new thing. So I could understand that frustration probably, where you have these games that, and I think this is just overall a Sony issue. You have these games that originally they engineered for the console, but now because they're trying to grab as many sales as possible, they're providing it to the PC version.
Okay.
So I could see, as far as like, why did I buy a fucking PS5 when I could have bought a PC? I could see that argument. However, I still feel like, even though, my position on their IPs, I feel like it's very kind of like slim pickings even after the showcase.
Like will this be the first time an Uncharted game has been released on PC?
Yes.
Okay, then I can kind of see the gripe there. I can't agree with it, but I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see the argument of, like, well, then why invest? Exactly. Okay. So now that knowing that, I can see the argument of, like, why buy a PS5 when you could just save up and buy a desktop or a PC, which has which also has access to Microsoft games.
Yeah, I mean, another argument too is, like, why isn't just this available on PlayStation Now? Because you can have PlayStation Now on your PC. You know what I mean? So now they're just porting it to Steam. So it's like what are we really doing here? So I guess I can see people's, like, annoyances after you kind of talking me through it. But I don't know. I think I'm kind of on the fence with it, because part of me is like, look, it's 2021. Sales are sales. I think you're still going to ultimately get the best experience playing it on PlayStation than on a PC. But
question.
Yeah.
What do you age range? Do you think it's more of the youngins or the vets that are upset about this also PC launch?
Vets.
Okay, so to the vets, at least age-wise, like us, like, we've talked about it. Dude, man, you just gotta think about Bob Dylan, man. The times they are a change. Like, dude, like,
yeah.
we're living in a time where cross-play is cross-gen's a thing. But we're also living in a time where fucking XCOM and Witcher are making fucking mobile games.
Yeah.
So I'm not. And these are loose dots that connect. But I'm just saying like the like not passion. But I can't think of the right word. Shocker. But you mean like the purity of an IP being just for that console or that entity. It's gone.
Yeah.
Like I said, I would have never thought XCOM or fucking Witcher would have had fucking bullshit money grab fucking mobile games.
Yeah.
But here we are. So, it's like, if you're telling me, hey, they're also launching this for PC, I'm like, yeah, that's not like nowadays. Yeah, it sounds about right. You're
not wrong.
Again, now, mind you, let's flip it for me. If I was like a diehard, no, I can't even say Microsoft because again, Microsoft and PC has been focused for a long time. But but I will end this with I can understand if you're a diehard Sony person, you've been waiting for the PS5, and now you're like, oh, this fucking thing you want, it's also available on the PC. You're like, what the fuck? I think this is like a major shift for Sony and possible Sony customers to realize, hey, this is not the first and this was not the last. You're going to start seeing a lot more. I'm going to predict, again, just the way the culture is going, the industry and the way the money's going, which is unfortunately what's the backers for all, like the main focus for all this. You're going to start seeing, if not foundation IPs, hard legacy exclusive IPs start showing up elsewhere.
Yeah.
Uncharted, I would argue if Uncharted, put it this way, if Uncharted was as big now as it was big in its heyday, oh, you bet your ass it'll be fucking mobile games. Temple Run.
Oh yeah.
Dude, it's fucking Uncharted. Well, there's like fucking Crash Bandicoot mobile.
I hate that game, dude. Like, it's just, to me, it's just the spirit of Crash is nowhere near that.
Yeah, again, so you go see the spirit. You know what I mean? So, like, and I know, I would argue the spirit's not dead just because it went to PC, but, again, diehard Sony fans that's not used to this, this is a step, not in the wrong direction, but it's a step towards the future that a lot of people don't like, and to a point, I agree with them. I can see why.
Yeah. Most definitely, I can see how it can grind people's gears. Speaking of gears, you got Gearbox. They showed the trailer for the Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Oh, I never saw it.
Showed a gameplay trailer. Looks pretty good, and this actually solidifies the solidifying that bingo slot as far as the Borderlands game.
Yeah,
because when you play it, you're not playing as Tiny Tina, you're playing as somebody else, but Tiny Tina's kind of like the overarcher of it, like the narrator or whatever.
I still remember when this was announced. I thought it was a new DLC. I thought it was like that. I thought it was like the DLC for Borderlands 2. Had a long fucking name, like Tiny Tina presents bunkers and badasses. Something.
Yeah. So I mean, it definitely looks like it's a. It definitely looks like a DLC, but it's a standalone. But yeah, definitely, it definitely looks something to that degree. But it looks pretty good. It's supposed to come out in March of next year, so it looks like March is going to be a decent month for games for Sony.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So this is a Borderlands game, which means it's definitely have DLC. Question. So let's say this game comes out in March, right?
Yeah.
I would argue a DLC would drop by the end of the year because that's good enough time to make and have enough players finish the game, but yet want more.
Yeah.
So let's say this game comes out in March. Let's say a DLC for it, which I bet there will be because it's Borderlands.
Right.
It's not a bad thing, but a predictable thing. Will come out by the end of next year for the game. I guess it's a question/statement. How do you see Gearbox really thriving post Borderlands? Like they really have it because they really have it.
What would they do after Borderlands?
Because Gearbox is exactly what they do after Borderlands. Because do you think they're just gonna keep it going like a Nintendo Mario fucking situation, because Borderlands, now to Gearbox's credit, they tried to have other IPs that just haven't stuck the landing. Like again, Bloodborne was not a bad game. It came out a week. It was like it just came out a week before Overwatch,
right?
And just got just got ignored from that, and then the production hell that was Aliens Colonial Rings. Remember, and it touched 10 developers before it got to them. So I can't really say that that was a hot potato of a game. And then there was that PS5 game that wasn't bad. It just wasn't as good or great as people wanted it to. Like what was it called? Godfall?
Oh yeah. That one it wanted to be greater than it was.
I will say this though, aesthetically speaking, looks amazing.
Yeah.
It looks amazing. It's like, it's a melee fantasy, I would say loot shooter, but there's no shooting, but I mean it's like a fantasy, loot RPG.
Yeah.
But again, then it's like the landing. So again, in 2 years time from now, what do you think Gearbox will do? Keep milking Borderlands? Or do you think by then they'll have a new IP to like kind of just kick them in the right, like to stick the landing?
It's a great question. I think honestly, I feel like they're just gonna keep milking Borderlands. I mean, if they can continue to milk a franchise but still provide really quality games, I mean, fuck it. I think they might be able to attempt some type of a new IP after, say, if once we get another like legitimate Borderlands. But it's a good question. I feel like for Gearbox, it's still their bread and butter. I know Borderlands 3 wasn't received as well as the last one. So I think if they do another Borderlands, they really need to get their shit together.
Now Borderlands 3 is not bad. But let's say Borderlands 2 for me is like a 9 or a 10. Mm-hmm. Borderlands 3 is like a 7 or an 8.
Okay.
The gameplay makes it an 8. The story makes it a 7.
Okay.
Just because going from Borderlands 2 and the DLC, all amazing DLC, especially Tiny Tina's, was great.
Yeah.
Story wise, again, Borderlands not known just for its gameplay. It's known for its story, its script, its characters, its villains, and again the villains in Borderlands 3 were just like. It was like, I'm not saying pandering, but it was like let's reach these kids and like let's have the villains be annoying streamers, prank video. I'm like, what the
they went there. I didn't know that. I had no idea.
Yeah, like the main villains of the game is like, oh, we're gonna kill this guy. We're gonna kill this guy real quick. What up, dudes? It's fucking thing. You know what I mean? So it's like we went from handsome Jack to like annoying streamer twins.
Oh, that's annoying.
Now, again, the story got a little better once you got to know their backstory and stuff like that. But again, it was just like, but for the first half of the game, or for the first 3/4 of the game, until you get this big M. Night Shyamalan like twist origin story of how they have powers, because there's only supposed to be a certain number of like quote unquote like angels and shit.
Right.
But for the first 3/4, they're just really fucking annoying.
Yeah.
I think if they're gonna milk Borderlands, Randy Pitchford needs to cut Anthony Birch a fat fucking check. Now, for those of you that don't know Anthony Birch, I mentioned him before. He was the writer and the reason Borderlands 2 was amazing.
Yeah.
He was the writer for Borderlands 2. Speaking in Tiny Tina real quick, he wrote that character from the ground up for his sister, Ashley Birch. Ashley Birch, his sister, both, kind of got internet quote unquote fame via their show of like, hey Ash, what you playing?
It's really, I remember you mentioned that in a previous episode.
Really funny, like quick videos. Go watch them; they're just really funny.
Yeah.
And he wrote Borderlands 2, but that was so I think for him stepping away, as a writer, I think to a point it's shown. Because here's for me, the prequel, like it was literally called Borderlands prequel. I'm not saying it was a bad game, but even at the time a diehard Borderlands fan, I feel like it didn't need to exist. Like no one asked for it. Like no one asked for like a random pre-sequel. There you go, the pre-sequel game. And to a point, this is like on the same page as that.
Right.
again, I know it's not out
The
yet.
weight of Tiny Tina is kind of what's carrying it, right?
Yeah, like I'm not saying it's bad because it's not out yet. I really haven't seen anything, so I can't argue good or bad. But I can say it's like, again, I didn't ask for this. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would argue I would be more excited for Borderlands 4 than a spin-off thing.
Oh, I agree, 100%. I think that's for most Borderlands fans. I think they would agree with you as well.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
I'm just worried. I'm just worried. What I'm saying, I'm just nervous, worried for the future of one of my favorite developers, one of my favorite games. Again, it's like they're synonymous for many reasons for Borderlands. And again, 2-3 years time. Again, I don't know what their future looks like in 2-3 years.
I think you have a valid reason for that, man. I really do. We'll see what happens. I did want to talk about some of the big tunas here that were launched. So let me just cut to the sexy chase
Real quick. Sorry, I'll say just real quick. Sorry that was long.
Oh, go ahead.
Real quick. Sorry that was a little long, but again, Borderlands is like one of my favorite fucking sagas. So.
No, that was absolutely warranted. That was great. No, I loved it. I'm sure you heard about Insomniac Games with the sneak peek trailer for Marvel's Wolverine.
If the name Insomniac was not on it, I wouldn't care. But Insomniac's back, dude.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Take my money. Insomniac, like I would argue, like Obsidian is to Xbox, Insomniac to Sony is just synonymous with good and also fun.
Yes,
they're like it's like again kind of like James Gunn, like
yeah.
You know they're more like, again, you won't get like a Schindler's List fucking tearjerker, but like you're gonna get a fun experience. Like, dude, I'm still nervous about that one story we talked about a while back that Sony bought the trademark or copyright to I just fucking said the name of the game, Sunset Overdrive.
Oh yeah.
So I'm nervous. Because Sunset Overdrive did launch. I forget if it was Sunset Overdrive was an Xbox exclusive, wasn't it?
Correct.
And so the fact that Sony bought the copyright or trademark for that makes me very nervous. But again, back to Marvel thing, I'm like, really another Marvel game? Because if you think about it, we just had that we had the Square Enix Marvel game. We had the announcement of Marvel Sons. They also showed a new trailer for the Square Enix Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Yeah.
And now
which looks like trash, but
yeah, no, right? and now on top of that, there's going to be a fucking Wolverine game by Insomniac.
No, that is true.
Marvel wants that fucking license money, dude.
They're marveling us out right now. But I will say, as a caveat, or just as what I would be interested in as far as the Marvel, if it's anything like X-Men Origins Wolverine, I'm in.
Okay.
Because that game was fucking great.
Yes, we need to talk about that. There's always a conversation that video games don't make the best movies, and then on par with that, movies don't make video games based off movies usually suck.
Yeah.
Dude, that game was like God of War with Wolverine. That game was fucking crazy. Like that game was straight up like to a point like God of War, but you're Wolverine.
Yes.
It was good. It was surprisingly fucking good.
I remember I rented that. I bought it really cheaply at GameStop. It was like $10. And I was just like, holy shit, this is super violent. Positively. I was like, I'm stabbing this guy in the face.
It's really weird because they kind of pulled like a Scott Pilgrim or like they kind of pulled like a Scott Pilgrim or like, it's like one of those, it's like how a movie like quote unquote flops at launch.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to DVD, it gets like a fan base. That's what happened to X-Men's Wolverine. It flopped at launch and then like months go by, it goes on sale and everyone starts trying it. We're like, this game's fucking good. Unfortunately, it didn't get the credit it deserved till like, again, significantly after launch for it to be labeled a flop.
Right.
But surprisingly good. You want to know a quick little I call it fun fact. Now, these are going to be very opinion-based words. Fuck you, it's a fact. A surprisingly fun game based off a movie. G-Force. The fucking hamster movie.
Really?
Dude, this game was on demo at a GameStop And this one I was in college. I think
I remember that one.
this was when I was this when I was in college at Santa Cruz. I think Victor's there. We walked into a GameStop to buy something, and GeForce was on demo, and I'm playing it. It's like, let's play GeForce. I'm playing it, Also, I'm like 5 minutes in, guys. This game's fucking good. The second you play, you're one of the hamsters that had like a laser whip. Dude, you'd swear you were playing like a game made by Platinum Games, like Devil May Cry, but with hamsters.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, that's funny.
And it's funny because since then I found like an article here and there, like games that had no business being this good, and like the thumbnails GeForce, like the hamster movie. Yeah, the hamster movie had again surprisingly fun. Funny story. The reason we were there is because we knew GameStop's return policy, and what we did is as a joke, rather than buying our friend a gift card, we know you have 7 days to return a pre-owned game. So we're like, let's buy him a $30 pre-owned. Let's buy him a $30 gift card, or we can buy him a $30 pre-owned game. He can trade it. He can return it for store credit. So we bought him. Hannah Montana: The Experience.
Oh my god, that's funny.
My friend Kyrie that I'm still in contact with. You played with him for a bit. Remember, he was the guy we played Evolve with back in day.
Yeah, those were fun times.
Yeah, so a birthday long ago in Santa Cruz when we were housemates. We bought him Hannah Montana: The Experience for $30.
Oh my god!
And we told him, hey man, you have 7 days to return this, or this is your fucking game. you have
Here's the receipts in the case.
It's like you have 7 days to return this to get GameStop like a card for in-store credit.
Right.
Or guess what? Your birthday present is literally Hannah Montana: The Experience.
That's funny. Awesome.
Yeah. So families out there looking for a good, fun gamer gift, do that. But again, save the receipt.
Right.
Save the receipt and make sure it's very clear they're aware of the return policy.
Exactly. The other biggest thing here on fucking the PlayStation Showcase, Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
I was very surprised to see that. I don't know why, but I was.
I'm happy. And guess what, Drill? So far, hold your breath. No fucking confusion of whether or not this is a DLC or there's a fucking an expansion, a fucking no stupid.
Dude, I'm telling you, it was this very I mean, this is kind of like my conspiracy brain, but to me, it was very much because it was fucking Miles Morales, and whoever fucking did that, I don't know. I think he was either a racist or an asshole and wanted to confuse everybody, and everyone's like, "What's going on?" So, but yeah. Anyway, I digress.
A black hero can't carry a fucking Sony game.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see it.
And that was like it pissed me off because that was like that was like one of the top selling fucking games.
That was the top because it was E3, right?
Yeah,
it was E3 like 2 years ago now, or a year ago now.
Yeah,
it was E3, and that was like to me that was like their best quote unquote reveal.
Yeah.
Other than the God of War logo, like God of War, but we actually saw it. Like we didn't see God of War, but in terms of what we actually saw, yes, the Miles Morales was the best thing we saw.
Yeah.
And then again, 2 hours later, so this standalone fucking expansion. We're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, we're like, what? Yeah.
I still won't forgive stupid fucking Sony.
Yeah,
but good news, Spider-Man 2 looks great.
Looks really good.
I hope the soundtrack's just as good. Now, mind you, I don't have a PS4, PS5, so I haven't played it. But from every single thing I've seen, the motion, the web slinging, how you traverse the city looks so fucking seamless.
Yeah.
It's in terms of Spider-Man and like moving web mechanics, definitely come a long way from the PS1, PS2, the PS2 games.
Oh, seriously.
Which look great.
Do you think they one second, keep talking.
No, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know. I forget the names of the games. There's a million. But the classic like PS2 Spider-Man games, dude, so fucking fun. I haven't played them, but I think they'll still hold up. I think there's more to nostalgia than that. But I hope the soundtrack's good. Because I remember that soundtrack they showed when they announced the last Miles Morales game was fucking awesome. And I still fucking say it.
Yeah.
As a DLC, give me the soundtrack from Into the Spider-Verse for this game, and I'll fucking buy it.
Oh yeah, that's a is that on streaming services yet?
That was a great fucking soundtrack.
It was somewhere. I think Netflix or Disney. Okay, to answer your question, I have absolutely seen Into the Spider-Verse on a streaming service somewhere.
Yeah. I'm about to buy it on vinyl because that was a great fucking soundtrack. I was going to ask you, do you think they blew their load too early because this is coming out in 2023? Like, this isn't coming out next year. Do you think it blew it too early? I mean, it's connected to the Marvel things and the Insomniac games. At least you know like what they're working on. So that's positive.
No. I think it was a good call.
Yeah.
Because again,
It's in the universe,
if
obviously.
you link, well, separate to that, if you link kind of the big picture, they said this console shortage is going to last a while. So there's a good chance a significant amount of Sony fans or customers like me that's on the fence about buying it won't buy a PS5 until like let's say next year, possibly holidays next year. And if so if I buy, let's say I buy a PS5 holidays of next year, then by that time 2023 is around the corner. So
yeah, okay.
Because to a point when we talk about games, I've gotten used to the fact that it's like a lifespan is like 3 or 4 years. Meaning if a game's like announced is like just like this game will exist announced, there's a significant chance it won't drop until like 3 years after you've seen that fucking trailer.
Yeah. We're at hour 5, so I wanted to go through a couple of these guys because some of them were exclusives. First thing though, Alan Wake Remastered. Are you excited for this? Like, I think to me the problem with this game is that it's one of those games where it's like you play the story, great experience.
It's one of those games that's a great experience, but I would argue not a lot of replay value.
I agree. And
I would argue that for remakes, you have to have replay value.
Yeah.
Like fucking Star Wars, and that's what
exactly. That's a perfect game to fucking remaster.
Like remakes have to have to a point replayability. And
yeah.
Again, Alan Wake's not a bad game. Definitely not.
Oh no, yeah, it's a very good game.
Put it this way. If they remade it, it should not be $60. Or maybe no, it's PS5. Let me argue that. It should not be this game should not be $70. $70. That it is not a $70 game. I would argue Alan Remake should not be priced at $70.
Yeah.
Especially, not gonna lie, dude. Okay, so real quick, you have Project Eve queued up, right?
Yeah.
Picture right now. Picture the trailer. Remember the trailer for Project Eve? How that looked like?
Yeah, that looked pretty crazy.
Was it just me, or did the Alan Wake did not look like a remake at all? It looked like PS3.
It kind of just looked like the CG trailer, right? The CG
dude, it
cinematics.
straight up looked like a PS3 game.
Yeah, it didn't look.
It looked like a PS3.
It didn't look like super crazy.
It did not. This looked like a re-release and not a remake.
That's a good point.
Because it did not look new at all. It just looked like they just straight up showed us. Did we just get rickrolled and it just showed us a trailer from the original PS3 fucking trailer? Yeah. Because again, it looked like a fucking PS3 game.
Yeah.
It just did. And then again, you have Project Eve lined up. That game looked fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, that looked crazy.
And we'll get more to it. They showed Forspoken. Right. All these other games that look like a new fucking game.
Right.
And then you show us fucking Alan Wake Remaster. Who emailed Jim the PS3 trailer? Fuck. God damn it.
Yeah.
They did not. Again, so for the fact it's not exactly replayable and did not look like a PS4. It didn't even look like a PS4 fucking game.
Yeah.
Should not be $70.
Definitely. There's another game that they showed, and I guess it was like an online game. Bloodhunt. Remember that one?
They teased that at the last thing.
Okay.
That's the vampire game.
Anticipated free to play. Okay, so I guess I must have skipped this one from the last trailer. Third-person battle royale.
What?
Yeah.
What? It looked like a PvE story game. Look, what?
You might be confusing. Remember that one game on the Xbox? It was called Red something.
Wait, was it?
Where
there were vampires?
Yeah, and they were like fucking shit up or whatever. But
is this not it?
No, this is different. because this is a PlayStation
What
exclusive.
the fuck is this?
This is,
I was like, back to your original conversation. Yes, Arthur, that's what we're about to do.
this is a free-to-play third-person battle royale game that's centered around like vampires and shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, okay, I didn't mean to pike my mic there. I've heard of this, and for whatever fucking reason, you need the top-notch, top of the line. Okay, is this also available on PC?
It probably will be. I'm just seeing PS5 right now.
Okay, only because there's a few words I'm hearing. Battle Royale, Vampire. Okay. I don't think it's the same one. I don't know how many fucking vampire games are about to come out now. But I remember hearing a story of a vampire battle royale game that, at least for PC players, you have to have like the top of the line shit.
Really?
You have to have like a 380.
Jesus.
You have to have like the best shit to play it, or else the game just crashes.
Oh wow.
And that was like a beta.
Goddamn.
Yeah, but
yeah, I'm curious about this one. We'll because I remember watching the trailer for it and I was like,
this one I missed.
I don't know how I feel about it. But
You know me about Royales, which is in the category of not giving a fuck.
Super meh. Let's talk about Forspoken. So it seems like we got more of a narrative-driven trailer this time around. When it comes to the gameplay looks nuts. I'm a little concerned when it comes to the CG aspect. Obviously the game isn't done, so there's that to keep into consideration. Some of the graphics I wasn't really impressed with from a CG perspective, but the gameplay seems to be like definitely using the power of the PlayStation 5, which I really like to see.
Well, remember that was the game that was like originally called Project whatever when they showed the Unreal 5 trailer, and I was like, look at that rock. That one rock has 2 trillion pixels.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
And by the way, real quick, Bloodhunt. That's the game I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. That game looks good, but yeah.
That if you're gonna play it on PC, if you're gonna play the PC, I don't know if they changed it. Oh, they've been updated. There they go. Bloodhunt's PC requirements have been updated.
Oh, okay.
Because during the beta,
used to be like crazy max settings.
Yeah, during the beta, you needed like the newest shit.
Jesus
but
Christ.
Forspoken. So real quick with Forspoken. So we've had technically, if you include the Unreal 5 demo, arguably 2 videos about the gameplay. This video was more about the story.
Yes.
This was like what the fuck's happening, and it's like some girl in like some futuristic city, angsty, doesn't like her area. She's in the slums part of town. She has a cool cat.
She gets punched in the stomach.
she wants
or something.
Blah, yeah, she gets mugged and something, and it's like, I wish I had a new life where we could move or some shit.
Yeah.
And then she goes through a portal. And now she's in this new area.
She has a sweet bracelet that changes life.
Which is really funny because I just saw Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, so I'm like, okay, I've seen this movie. But real quick, but again, so I'm glad they explained that, because I thought it was supposed to be like, I'm not saying run of the mill, but I thought it was gonna be like kind of like Horizon Zero Dawn,
right?
Like woman, like a female character, and it's like fucking like wasteland and trying to do things and blah 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 blah. No, like I said, there's a woman, arguably from our world in the future, Earth in the future,
right?
Goes through a portal, and now she's like thrusted into this fucking new fucking world.
Yeah. I'm curious. The boss battles look dope. It kind of reminds me of a few games. It reminds me of like Assassin's Creed, Devil May Cry.
I was gonna say Devil May Cry, like Bayonetta.
Yeah, but all in a good way. In a good way.
No, definitely good things. Release date for that or no?
Great question. Looks like we're seeing spring of 2022. I guess no specific date, but we're looking at spring of next year here for that one.
Okay, it's not bad.
Not bad at all, definitely.
Loosely less than a year away.
Yeah.
Maybe March.
Dude. That would mean there's like 3 games coming out in March. That's pretty nuts. We can obviously skip Grand Theft Auto. No one gives a fuck about that, right?
No.
I sure don't. So, but yeah. So I think, and then obviously they showed more Deathloop, which looks great. I do want to play Deathloop. I hope it's a good game. It got pushed back a little bit, but I know it's still coming out this year, right?
Ghostwire.
That one looks cool. Sorry, we're just looking in the list of like things shown, and I like this one.
Yeah,
let's
talk about it.
I thought it was. This one's very Kojima-esque.
It is, isn't it?
I thought like if you would have told me what's the name of the game again? That's a long name.
Ghostwire Tokyo.
Ghostwire Tokyo. 2 words. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. We got the 2 words is the long name or 2. It's what's that game called with Ezio? Assassin something. I can't remember the second fucking word. I thought it had more. I thought it was like Ghostwire Tokyo Revengeance. Blah, 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 blah.
Right.
No, Ghostwire Tokyo. So Ghostwire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ghostwire Tokyo is like a. I don't know if it's open world, but like like a decently sized map.
Yeah.
It looked like because they showed gameplay.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a first person horror. I would argue horror action. Because you have powers and shit. So it's, like for example, it's like not horror in the sense of like Silent Hill. Like Silent Hill, arguably I would argue is not exactly in the action category.
Yeah.
Like the ratio, like Silent Hill, the ratio is heavier on horror than action. I would say this one, at least from what we've seen, is kind of like 50-50.
Yeah, I agree.
And so when I saw when I first saw this, I thought it was like Joel's gonna go nuts. Kojima made a new fucking game. But again, it's not. But it's very, very like Kojima-esque in the design.
Definitely.
Like Kojima's very good at like taking the modern world and tweaking it and making it scary. Because there's other horror games that's like fantasy or like it's like your default in a scary world.
Yeah.
But no, this is like you're in our world and it gets flipped on its head.
Is this all first person view? Because it kind of reminded me of like Breakdown. Remember Breakdown on the original Xbox?
That one I don't.
Okay.
It reminded me
all first person view, like just like really interactive, where you really feel like you're in first person view playing the game. Just really like a lot of crazy like arm animations and stuff, and I know you're using a lot of different like magic or powers or whatnot. So I know a lot of the gameplay was in first person view, so it's like, oh, this looks cool.
There's a game this reminds me of, Darkness.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember this?
Yeah, that game's super dark.
Dude.
How dark it was.
This game. I remember Darkness and the sequel. I don't think it was called Darkness 2. It just had had words.
I think it was Darkness 2. Darkness 2 something. I forgot.
Yeah, it was like Darkness 2. Yeah, Dark, like Reign of Darkness or some shit.
Yeah.
But it reminds me of that. It's like horror-esque, actiony, first person. You have powers. I like the design. It reminds me of that Pokemon, that like scary Pikachu. It reminds me of that, because there's that one like ghost thing. It's like a little ghost balloon, covered in a sheet with like the classic holes and for the eyes and shit.
Yeah, that's funny.
It looks good.
Yeah,
now it looks good.
Yeah, it looks interesting. I'm curious to see how that one.
My only
the response of it
niche is very specific. It's first person, but I feel like the camera is too down because this is very odd. It's very specific. Like it's very specific, but like Dead Island was criticized for this. Dead Island had to be first person because the third personness was too jonky. Like if you play cooperative and you see how the whole body moves in your friend, you're like, wow, that's really fucking jonky.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that because their arms are like, oh sorry, as I hit my mic. Sorry, because the arms are like super long.
Yeah.
It looks cool, but again, it just feels like because the camera's tilted down, it feels like his arms are like 4 feet fucking long.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Like when we showed the gameplay, it was like, wow. It was like, again, just a weird camera tweak. That was like just because I am playing right now. I'm playing Dead Island with Victor right now.
Yeah.
So that will just fresh in my mind that it feels like it's first person.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't polish the third person.
Maybe you might be right. You might be right, and that's a great observation.
Like even in Dying Light, as smooth as Dying Light felt, when you see the third person animation via watching your friend do it, and you see the full animation as the full body, it looks jonky. So to prevent full jonkiness, they're like, fuck it, make it first person.
Yeah.
So that's I kind of got that vibe from this trailer.
Yeah, man. I think, to me personally, I think after talking about these games, I think it's definitely one of their best showcases they've had in a long time. I think it's a long time coming. I think they probably should have had this fucking thing a while ago. But I am excited for the main games. I'm excited for are the ones that are made by Insomnia Games, Polyphony, obviously the Knights of the Old Republic remake. So there is a decent amount of games where I'm like, okay, but it's still one of those things where I'm like, I'll fold. You know what I mean? Like I'll wait till we get closer.
Yeah, I will say this though, to their credit, this has been the most Sony thing in a while.
True.
Because like, look at the things they announced. They announced a lot of Legacy and Foundation games keep going.
Yeah.
God of War, Spider-Man, and again, I mentioned it. Spider-Man games have been a part of Sony since fucking PlayStation 1.
I mean, it was literally the writing of like the marketing of the PS3. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
So again, God of War, we got Spider-Man, we got the Uncharted series, we got Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of Sony things fucking being Sony. Like that's why I argue if Sony was at E3, it would have looked a lot like this.
Yeah. I'm hoping that we can get like a Sly Cooper, a redo Sly Cooper, because I really liked Sly Cooper.
Fuck. He was referenced somewhere.
There was a rumor that was one of the games
What?
that's going to be coming out. I know David Jaffe, I think, was talking about it on his show.
I think it was in Ratchet and Clank. There's a Sly Cooper reference.
There is. They're probably working on one or remaster.
I was watching a stream or something, and I remember it was fresh in my brain. It's past like 3 weeks. I just remember watching. I think it was Ratchet and Clank, because Ratchet, because the whole thing Ratchet and Clank is rift between worlds and worlds are colliding.
Yeah,
is like an NPC. It's like one of the dialogues. If you don't talk to them, you'll miss it. But it's like if you talk to like this NPC, they're like, oh yeah, there's like this. Oh yeah, there's this thief that has like a sickle that just stole something. It was like a Sly Cooper reference.
right. Oh, okay.
Of like a masked thief that has like a sickle hook.
Oh, that's absolutely a Sly Cooper
Yeah.
reference. Yeah, I think for PlayStation, for me, like I think when it comes to some of the newer games, I think they are focusing on some good titles. I will still challenge them though and say they really need to dig into the crates of PlayStation 2 titles to remake them. You know what I mean? Because obviously Jim Ryan is not a fan of having older catalogs presented in the store. They obviously proved that when they're trying to shut down all the fucking digital stores, and we're like, what are you doing? But if anything, if they can do their job, really do the research as far as for like big popular titles that came out on PlayStation 2, dig in the crates and remake some of those, I think I'll probably be more excited. I just feel like there's still this neglect of games that a lot of the old school PlayStation fans, we have a huge heart for still. Or at least start beefing up PlayStation Now. Make that your PS2 thing, or just some of those titles. I just feel like they're so behind in the streaming world when it comes to just PlayStation Now, and if they want to keep it as a service, you really utilize it. That would make sense for PlayStation. It doesn't mean to compete with Game Pass, because I feel like they can never compete with Game Pass.
Yeah,
but in a way that makes sense for Sony customers.
Yeah, there are some things that are good about competition and some things that aren't. Like here, I know that's a super fucking vague thing, but here's what I mean. Nintendo doesn't give two shits about Game Pass, and they're fucking killing it in their own right.
Yeah.
Like they're like
Facts.
They're like, we're not Game Pass. We're not about that. We're gonna do us. We don't give a fuck.
Right.
And they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And it's fucking it's working.
Yeah.
It's working. It's like I argue every time Nintendo shows up at E3, you can have a Nintendo bingo card of like 4 slots and you always fucking win. It's you know what I mean? It's like a remake of something, a new Mario game, a sequel to one of their like 5 mascots, and like bam, every fucking thing,
right?
Every year, that's all it is. And again, I say that jokingly, but again, it clearly fucking works.
No, you're right.
Because even to a point, that new Mario Golf game, like that looks fun. That Mario Golf game does look fun. And again, I was saying this year, come my birthday, Cyber Monday, this might be the year I get a Switch.
Okay.
because also again, because this just real quick, because we mentioned how the Switch is finally, at least IP wise and indie game wise, expanding its library. Like, and also real quick to your and then to your point, how I definitely agree with you that Sony's not seeing the importance of classic or keeping up your digital arcade, because again, Nintendo, I think I would argue definitely more than Microsoft. Nintendo is a fucking champion of keeping all their old school shit in their fucking digital fucking store.
Definitely.
Now when it comes to remakes though, I'm nervous and hopeful. Here's what I mean. When it comes to because right now they announced 2 remakes, Alan Wake and Knights of the Republic.
Yeah.
I am hopeful that Knights of the Republic sales will do good. I am nervous that the Alan Wake ones will not. And I'm nervous that Jim Ryan will see a potential, if not loss, like a potential not major success in Alan Wake. Because again, I would argue I don't think it's going to sell that well, especially if it's at $70
Yeah.
So
Facts.
let's say Alan Wake doesn't do amazing. I'm nervous that Jim Ryan will look at that and be like, "Oh yeah, see what the fuck they talk about? They don't want nostalgia and shit." Well, it's like because we wanted these games, and you gave us fucking Alan Wake, and your trailer looks like a goddamn PS3 game. So, because we both know companies do that all the time. It's like
a valid concern.
It's like we want these games remade. Well, I'm giving you Alan Wake. And we're like, okay, and all of a sudden, like people don't buy Alan Wake at $70, and Sony goes, "Yeah, see, Alan Wake failed. We're not. Yeah, see, fuck it. We're not remaking games. Fuck you."
Right.
So that's what I'm nervous about.
No, I think that's a fair thing to be nervous about too. So we'll have to see. We'll see what happens, man. But I think overall, I think this is a good conference. I'm still apprehensive, or I should say, I'm still reluctant to jump the gun to get a PS5. I'm glad I'm happy with what they've shown. I just want to see a little bit of really just proving the homage of like, hey, we haven't forgot about some of these titles that make, that make PS fans of where they are today, and just kind of remaking that shit or remastering that stuff, So we'll see what happens, but we're nearing the end of here as far as an hour 26. Good, solid PlayStation pod that we're not talking so much shit about Sony. It's not bad.
And again, surprisingly, like your opening summation, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. I'm like, you know what? Again, this has been the closest I've been to like, fuck, I need to buy a PS5.
Nice.
Like I want God of War. I want Spider-Man. I fucking want Knights of the Republic.
Yeah, that's a huge exclamation for me. I want that one.
Project Eden, you look cool. Forspoken, you look cool too. Gran Turismo, I want fucking Knights of the Republic.
Nice.
All right, folks. Well, this is going to wrap it up here for the Gamers for Life podcast. Each and every Saturday discussing all things games. I am your host, Jarrell. With me is my co-host, Arthur Thomas.
That's me.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We will see you next week.